welcome to We the Thunder. I'm Shooter. This is Thomas Schooley. We're live at Amalie Arena after a 4-1 loss. Don't worry, the stash is on his way to the car. He was here tonight as well, but he is very sad, so he wants to drive home, and he's going to log in here. But tonight, the Bolts found themselves on the losing side, 4-1 against the Panthers. Schooley, what'd you think about tonight's game?
Interesting stat that came out that we still have not led in regulation all season. So that's 4 games in, doing the math, 12 periods of regulation hockey, and we still have yet to lead in any of it. 0-2 now at home, 2-0 on the road, both of them overtime. Without Kucherov, it's not looking good right now.
Yeah, so let's talk about Kucherov, but actually while we wait for the stash, let's talk about the games away, right? We went 2-0 away, beat DC in DC, beat Detroit in that crazy-ass game last Thursday night. So that Thursday night game, back and forth, we were losing. We were down by 3 goals a couple times in that game, came back to win it, but I think the play of that game was when Dylan Larkin punched Matty Joseph with the glove on. I was telling Schooley and Stash while we were all kind of watching it separately, I was like, that was the kick in the ass this team needed. And I guess it was for that game. But I don't know. I thought they'd come back a little bit stronger and beat the Panthers tonight, but it just wasn't happening. What did you think of that Larkin hit? I was talking to my buddy about it, and he's kind of a Detroit fan.
I thought it was funny that Larkin threw the gloves down after he sucker punched Joseph. Then he threw his gloves off because he was ready to fight again. And but that definitely was a little smart. Him getting the match penalty, getting kicked out of the game. We know now 1 game suspension. Him and Joseph reached out. Joseph texted him and said that they've worked everything out. Everything's cool between them, but it'll be interesting in the next game against Detroit.
They're friends again.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
No, that was a wild game. Pulled it off in overtime, and then went to DC Saturday night. Same thing, overtime win. This time it was the captain coming through with a sniper to win it. And like I said, I thought the Bolts, kind of bounced back. I didn't really realize they didn't really have any leads yet this season, but I was expecting a stronger performance tonight. And actually, what I was saying before,
that's the game we lost Kucherov.
Yes, that was the news from that game. Was Kuch out? I guess you can say by now Kuch is out indefinitely. We don't really have a date on it. No news yet. The speculation is it's a groin. Usually not a good thing. So here we are, just like last season without Kuch, probably for a while this regular season. And that kind of played into what happened this game. If you look at the ticker at the bottom, you'll notice the power play stats, and they were not good. We got a lot of power play time, as you imagine we would against Florida, but 0 for 6.
But it wasn't a physical game. Like normally our games with Florida, the preseason, the playoffs, they were physical. And I thought the Lightning didn't get physical until the 3rd period. And I thought it was like the last 12 minutes. And it kind of seemed a little bit too late. We weren't on the check-in tonight. I know us 3 were standing here a few minutes ago talking, and it just didn't seem there was too much passes. And then when they should have been passes, there's not enough passes. So they just weren't on the game. You can definitely see they're trying to figure out, without Kucherov, what this team's going to look like. We did it last year, but we also had Yanni Gord, Blake Coleman, and Gaudreau. So it's going to look a little bit different. And I think they're still trying to figure that out. They moved Corey Perry up to that top line tonight. And I don't know. He looked good in preseason. He got 4 goals, 1 assist, and he hasn't found the back of the net yet in regular season.
Yeah, I didn't think he looked that good tonight, but I didn't really think the Bolts looked bad. So I'd be curious for folks that watched it on TV. in the comments, like, what the Bolts look like on TV tonight? Because I didn't think in the arena, I didn't think they looked that bad. The power play 0 for 6 is bad, but that's kind of the Cooch problem that they're going to have to figure out.
Yeah, but that 5-on-3 was really. I thought that was kind of a little dagger when we didn't score on that. I said, that doesn't look good for the power play because there's almost a full 2 minutes of 5-on-3.
Well, whenever you don't score on a 5-on-3, that's bad news. But to have 6 power play chances and come away with no goals, that's what hurt the Lightning. The final score, I mean, they scored a shorthanded goal. Bolts gave up a goal in the third period that maybe they definitely wanted back to make it 3-1. But I still think it was closer. And here's the thing: the Lightning had their chances. This game was 4-1. It could have been 5-4. It could have been 6-4. Bolts. You had Maroon with the breakaway where he seemed. You had a better view than I did. He seemed to just lose the puck.
It looked like he was running out of gas. I mean, that's not the guy you want to have a breakaway. It's Patty Maroon.
And then you had Stamkos with a breakaway. And again, like, I get these guys are trying to deke Spencer Knight, but just shoot the puck. What I saw tonight was Braden Point ripped one right over his shoulder. Blocker looks weak on Spencer Knight. They got to be able to see that. I mean, and it was Point also that had a shot, same side, Blocker side, that went off the post too in the third period. Those are the kind of tendencies you got to recognize. Then beyond those 2 breakaways, I counted 4 times that the puck was behind Spencer Knight and he was bailed out by his defense or by a whistle. So that's 6 goals left on the board. So, I mean, you gotta score those goals, but on other nights, at least a couple of those go the Bolts' way. And, if 2 of them go the Bolts' way, you're seeing a 3-3 probably game that goes to overtime. Let's see what the comments are saying.
And kudos to Coach Q for Knight plays us hard. And I think the Lightning have learned Bobrovsky, and Coach Q was like, Knight's going tonight. We're not playing Bobrovsky, so good for him.
Seemed like the Panthers had 8 or 9 guys on the ice at all times. It didn't seem like that in the arena, Phil. Augusto. we got the Stachio Phil version coming in here, hot too. We're gonna have to change that up. I didn't feel like that. I felt like the Bolts were kind of a little bit weak in the middle of the ice, which sometimes makes it feel like the other team has a lot of guys because they're crowding the middle of the ice. And the Bolts, there goes Stash. The Bolts didn't seem to have that much presence right in the center of the ice. And we'll have the Stash on. Yes, this is the live PD version when we're all at the stadium. We only had this really one other time. There's Kevin's comment, the live PD version of the show. I was going to go do it for my car too, but I'm in no rush to go home. So let's see what other comments we have here about the game. Lomberg was out.
Stash is back.
He is their goon. So maybe that did make it a little bit less physical. Kevin says the Panthers just played good D.
Stash, before we lose you, what was your take on tonight's game?
It's like on my same take last week. This team's going to take a couple of months to get ready. This team is still finding itself. And since our last show, we've lost Kucherov. And now we saw, like you said, I'm coming in. I know what you guys talked about, but the shooter and I were talking in the third period. Stammer shot up in minutes in that third period. And then he ended up with over 20 minutes a game, this game. And that's just not the recipe for success. That second line has to stay together. You got to find somewhere in that bottom 6 of depth to throw Cooch on that top line while he's gone. And you got to let that second line really drive the horse while you figure out the rest of the team. And the shooter made some good points about where the puck was and some blown breakaway opportunities. The Lightning didn't play bad hockey tonight. I finally started seeing some actual Lightning hockey late in that second period. And like I said, it's gonna take a couple months. It's a team that's really on a rebuild and a rebound from some really intense hockey in an 18-month period. So good things, bad things, but like I said, I think it's going to be November before we see this team play its best hockey or starting to show its best hockey.
Yeah, I bet they're going to be really practicing the power play and trying to figure that out. I mean, I don't know. Do you take Palat off and plug in Colton? It's a tough call. I think they just need to. I feel like they've really been trying to feed Stamkos a lot, and once they do that, it limits their options, because when you have Kuch on one side and Stammer on the other side, you can't defend it. That's why they're so unstoppable with that combination. But try to get it into point. And you know what else they need to do? And I told you this, Stash, was they need to get it to Hedman, and he needs to rip that from right up the top, because when we won the Stanley Cup in 2020, he was scoring those goals. So I don't know, obviously we talk about, I thought Stash was gonna scold some woman that was sitting behind us, because every power play, shoot. Here's the thing: when you're in Hedman's spot or Sergachev's spot, you don't always want to shoot that puck. That's how you give up a shorthanded goal. They block that shot. They're going to have a free skate on Vasi. So they've got to be able to set it up. Maybe try less Stamkos. Let Palat take that shot. If you're going to have that guy on the other side, it's got to be a threat over there, right?
I agree.
So, I like practicing that a lot.
Yeah, I really like sliding Palat into Kucherov's spot. I really do. And then, when are we going to be honest about Anthony Cirelli? When are we going to start saying this guy is not producing, right? Like, this guy just doesn't. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's his time to shine.
He's more of a two-way player.
That PK, though, he did great on the PK tonight.
I'm gonna say he made some great defensive plays, but I was chanting Selke. I let out a Selke cheer at one play when he made a play. I was like, Selke, yeah, sure, but it's got to come two ways. Like, he basically, let's put him on the blue line at this point, right? Like, that's the way I look at it. Like, that guy's he's not producing down low. He's not producing on the other side of our blue line. Of their blue line. I mean, let's put him at our blue line, because if he just is going to be a defensive player, let's make him a defender. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm being too hard on him. I just think that Cirelli, when you lose a guy like Kucherov, it's time for a guy like Cirelli to step up. Am I wrong?
Well, you can put several names on there. You could say Corey Perry. You can say, they moved him to that line, thinking he was going to fill in at least half of what Kucherov, and he didn't. You could say a Palat. You could say, Point just scored his first goal this season.
Let's keep the trolls for a minute.
Yeah, let's talk about this troll real quick.
Well, I remember Michael James from when we took out the Panthers in the playoffs fairly easily last year and beat Spencer Knight, but he feels like we're never going to beat basically Spencer Knight is what he's.
Are you going to tell the story of Shooter, or shall I recount my interaction with Panthers fan at the end of this game?
You go ahead. There was actually several times Stash was almost removed from Amalie Arena tonight. So.
Oh, not even close. Not even close.
I got a message asking if there's any seats near me in case Stash was removed. A shooter had somebody to come sit near.
Listen, I'm sitting in 307, and there's kids in front of me, like toddlers, and then Mr. Explain It All to his girlfriend behind me. And I gotta tell Shooter, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna have to go watch this on the party deck or something, man, because look, if there's two things I can't stand in the party section of a hockey game, it's kids and newbies, and I'm sorry, I know, I'm that guy sometimes, but anyways, I wasn't that close at all from getting removed. I've been way closer on much more casual experiences than tonight, but no. At the end of the game, when they scored the empty netter, the lone Panthers fan, or well, not lone, there's actually like maybe 8 or so around us. The one guy stood up though and did a little clap, So all the Lightning fans around him, like a little 360, like, ha, 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 ha. And then I told him, go ahead and enjoy your early season victory. That's all I said. Enjoy it. Enjoy your early season victory, because I don't know what else you're going to get, because I remember the last couple postseasons and how that went down. And when it really mattered, I know what happened. So
But here's the funny thing. So he's still talking smack. I know you're on your phone and stuff. So it says you guys are 1-1 against.
I guess, yeah.
So here's the thing. But who won the series? And let's talk about the Florida Panthers this year. If you're saying he's so much better than Bobrovsky, actually, you guys are undefeated and Bobrovsky's 2-0. So shut the fuck up. You guys are now only 3-0. We are 2-2. You have one more win than us.
Not too worried about the Panthers or Spencer Knight.
Listen,
although I did
let them have it. As I said, enjoy your early season victory. Enjoy your early season victory. If it means that much to you, then you know what? I'm going to return the round of applause. This is to the Panther fan who is standing up and clapping. Good for you. You won one. You won one early in the season. I hope it matters in the postseason when we meet them in the playoffs. I hope it matters now. I hope this matters then for them. I hope it matters. I hope they remember this victory.
7-game series, we've seen what happens. So maybe they'll get their rematch, but I'm not mad at the Panthers fans for celebrating this win. This is a huge win for them. This is one of the biggest wins in franchise history for them to beat a.
Well, I guess what also gets under my craw is the fact that they can't even fill their own barn, and then they come to our barn and try and take a celebration lap. You know what I mean? You take a victory lap in our barn and you can't even fill your own, even in the playoffs.
But for years we've been doing it in theirs, because we outnumbered their fans every year.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, the show's not about the Panthers. The Panthers won a game tonight. In case Michael James missed it, I mentioned that there were 4 pucks behind Knight tonight that he got bailed out by with the defense or with whistles. And games later this season, those pucks will probably go in the net. So we'll play I don't know how many times we play the Panthers. I guess back to the normal schedule. They're in our division, so
is it 7?
6 or 7 games or something like that.
So
7. I'm looking forward to it, but honestly, there's other teams I'm excited to see us play.
It's early. Again, like I said, I said this last week on the first show. We're not going to see the best hockey out of this club until Thanksgiving at the earliest. We're going to start seeing a real team coalesce. We're going to see this is the third line. This is the fourth line. Probably at least another week until we know about Kucherov and his injury and how significant it is, what that's going to require, what that means for the Lightning. And, oh, by the way, again, Panthers fan, we forgot to talk about this shooter who is trying to take his victory lap. Oh, what, 20 million? First of all, not even 18. He didn't even get the right number, first of all. Second of all, 18 over the cap. And then I said, learn the rules. And that was it. That's the only defense I needed right then. Learn the rules and enjoy your early season victory. That's what I say. Because like I said, this team's gonna. I think we're gonna see 500 hockey out of this Lightning team for at least the first month or so of the season. We're gonna see some growing pains. We're gonna see some games we should win, and we're gonna lose them. And we're gonna see some games we should have lost, and then we're gonna win them.
We only play the Panthers 3 more times. The next time is here again. November 13th is the next game against them here.
Only 4?
Yep.
Yeah. I thought we played in division a little bit more, but I guess
that seems like a big whiff by the NHL. That's a big whiff by the NHL right there. I thought the whole point of realigning these divisions a few years ago was to get more games and create more rivalries. And
you play each in your division 4 times, and then everybody else in the league twice, and then one other division 4 times.
I don't know. That's still a lot of games, so I don't know. Anyways, we shall move on. But yeah, that's what I see. I see a team that's still really talented, a team that's still really deep. I see a coach that's also probably trying to, for the first time in his life, figure out a way to motivate his guys, or what his mantra is going to be, or what his like real bulletin. I mean, have you guys heard the Win song? Right? Like, come on! Like they obviously are a team that's in desperate need of like just getting back into the routine of things and then going from there.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's going to take some time. This team's more tired than any other team in the NHL. And even add on Corey Perry to that. He's in the same boat. He's played as many games as these guys, and a lot of them didn't look that great. The passing, even on that power play, just a hair off, really fucks up everything. Right? You can't get that one timer off. And I thought it was noticeable that guys, you can tell when guys are skating, they are kind of down. You can tell guys were up. They're not skating their hardest, and I think you're going to see that from this team. This team's like goal is not to win the division. This team's just trying to make the playoffs, and they know what to do from there. So they're 2-2 to start the season. We talked about it last week. You don't panic until January, and you're still losing games in January. So we got plenty of time, but the Cooch injury is definitely the most concerning thing. But we did it last year without Cooch. So.
And for all those people that say if he goes on LTIR, we're going to sign Eichel. No, we're not.
He's not going to play.
No, he's going to. Well, the only thing that we could do is sign him, put him on LTIR,
right,
and bring him for the playoffs.
Right. If we're lucky, and if our team doctors also agree to the treatment he wants, because there's no saying that our team doctors are going to agree to the treatment he wants, right?
Right.
So I was looking, you posted that list of free agents. That's a really thin pool, man.
Sure is.
It's not quite like it was last year. There's not a whole lot of meat on that bone, even if Cooch does go on long-term IR. So we're going to have to rely on the meat that's on our own bone. And I think they can. And again,
what was the biggest thing on there you had?
I'm going to get on social media, and I'm going to start telling Arians and Coop that they need to go start having a weekly lunch or brunch, or cigars or some shit like that once a week. Those two guys just need to find time, because you gotta Bruce is already on that second wave, kind of like Coop was last year. But when you go for that three-peat, how deep is your well? You know what I mean? Even as a champion coach, how deep is your well to figure out, all right, what's the bulletin board for the three-peat? Because if you're a good coach, you think about it, but you don't really plan it. You don't dream. You dream, you can dream about the back-to-back, and then you're waking up, all right, if I were to win one, this is how I would coach the next year. I don't think any coaches out there sitting there saying, this is how I'm going to coach the third year looking for, you know what I mean? Maybe Phil Jackson. Okay, Coop needs to call Phil Jackson. That's who he needs to call. The guru, right? How'd you find that three-peat? Aside from MJ, obviously, how did you get the rest of the team to buy into that? How did you get the whole core of that team back in and figure out? And they had to rebuild in that third team too. And remember, not a lot of people remember, they lost some key guys in that third run. The Bulls did, and that's what Coop needs to do. Coop needs to go study Phil Jackson. He needs to go look at the guru and say, all right, where do I go to build this team, and how do I figure out my new strategy and my new motivation to lead this team to the three-peat? Because I think Coop looks just not lost, but still just I don't know, just a little bit tired and frustrated. The whole team looked a little bit tired and frustrated.
So a few of the free agents he was talking about, Anisimov, you have Eric Stahl and Bobby Ryan were really only the big three names that are on there that are possibly something we can pick up. Now,
Well, we need a
there
winger.
was news coming out saying that Foote could return as early as Saturday. So we might see him make his debut this year come Saturday, which then would put Schuster back to the crunch. So it'll be interesting to see if that happens.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the most interesting guy there is Hall, right? Because like he's kind of the winger. The other guys aren't necessarily fit for the position, and also I just don't know that we need. It's like in the case of Stahl, we don't need another old guy. That's one thing I was sitting there looking at today. Like, there's room for one Patty Maroon on this team. I don't know if there's room for two, and Perry is kind of looking like
Perry is number 2.
another Maroon, and it's like I'm planning on this team getting back into the routine of the season from these veteran guys that have played, 6, 7, 10 years in the league plus. Now they're not in the COVID season. They're not in the abbreviated season. No bubble. No, we're regular, full on everything. So I do still believe that come week 3, week 4, that they're back into the grind and they're in the same routine. They're seeing their trainers and they're on the same treatments now and they're on the same workout routine and their diets are kicking in and their families are back to the use of the grind and the whole thing. I do think that that's going to bring a little bit of new life, like a second or third or fifth or whatever win that they're on now after the back-to-back seasons. I do think that's going to help this team.
Only time will tell.
Absolutely.
Colorado coming Saturday, and I seen some comments earlier saying Colorado is going to be worse than the Panthers, and I don't think so. I think Colorado is not the Colorado of the last couple of years.
They're looking like us to me right now. Yeah, they're 1-800 call Gary. I'm scared and confused.
Wow, you just dated yourself.
And I even said it wrong because it's actually 1-800 ask Gary, but
1-800 ask Gary turned into 411 pain, and then not driving around anymore.
Don't be scared or confused. Call 1-800 ask Gary. Yeah.
We'll I believe we're all going to be at that game. I know I'm going to be down here a little bit earlier, so if anyone else is going to be there, wants to meet up, grab a beer before the game, even one afterwards. No post game shows on Saturday nights.
That's right.
We'll post it on our site and we'll post it on Thunderbolt. So we'll let you know where we'll be. Maybe we
might do a little bit of live stream here and there since we'll all be together or whatever. But it won't be like a real show, but maybe a little Facebook Live or something like that.
You guys will be fancy that night.
Well, someone won a raffle.
I'm gonna stand right outside the Chase Club and ask.
I'll be there with my doppelganger.
Please, sir, hand me a cookie.
Let's get the
It'll be shooter in the stash and not the stash that everybody thought at the barbecue was the stash.
That's right. Let's get the over under on how many periods Stash lasts in the club session. Like, is he gone by first intermission? Does he last?
All I have to do is get in the building. That doesn't mean I have to be in the club the whole time. All right.
Good thing.
I'll go stand with my people on the party deck and watch it on the TV. It's okay.
So real quick, the Avalanche got beat 6-3 to the Capitals tonight, only putting 27 shots on the Capitals. So.
Yeah. See, Shooter said that as we were leaving too. Oh, we got to call. I don't think Colorado is all that right now. Just like the Lightning are kind of a 500 hockey
They're
club,
1-2 for the season.
I still think they're more talented than Florida. They're faster. They're more skilled than Florida.
They don't have Grubauer anymore.
Well, yeah, we can score some goals on them for sure. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. It's not going to be tonight where
it's going to be one of those.
Elliott make his debut?
I hope not.
Does Elliott make his debut in the Lightning game?
No, that's way too many days in between the game.
That's what I was thinking too. It's too many breaks.
No way.
What's going on with the NHL doing that? I mean, literally, we have only 2 games this whole week.
It's
Yeah,
we got
it's
2 games.
well, we had the first game.
Till May.
But then three the next 2 weeks, and then 2 again, then 3, and then 3, and then 4.
Yeah. Well, I think A, we're going to be on TV a little bit more nationally, and B, we had that first game, so that kind of put us ahead of the rest of the league. The opening that game, there's only 2 games that night.
Then we have 1 day off, and we have back-to-back games: Buffalo, and then a rematch against Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So we're going to see Elliott against Buffalo.
Against Buffalo.
Yeah,
Elliott
against Buffalo.
In fact, you know what? I wouldn't even be surprised if we see Elliott in back-to-back nights.
Back-to-back.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if we see a back-to-back, just depending on what happens the next 2 games.
Elliott in both games?
What?
You said Elliott in both games?
I wouldn't be surprised if he played back-to-back that. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's going to. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying I would not be surprised, since Bassey's already played every single game, and there aren't that many back-to-backs anyways, like we talked about. And I'm just saying, I'm not calling it. I wouldn't be surprised to see some kind of thing like that, to kind of, depending on what happens on Saturday too. You know what I mean?
No, I think it's definitely going to be. It's probably set in stone. It's going to be Buffalo, in Buffalo, Elliott, and then back-to-back versus Pittsburgh. Bassey gets the
back to Pittsburgh. And
but usually they try to get Bassey that first one because the guys are weaker in the second game.
Usually, but I think
and Elliott has played lots against Pittsburgh, being from Philly, so
yeah. I think it depends on what happens Saturday. Let's put it that way, right? I think Saturday is the key. Because Bassey hasn't looked super sharp either. Bassey looks fucking tired to me. Sorry. I don't like to disrespect the big cat. I'm a cat person. But he looks.
Had that first one. I thought
he looked tired.
That second one, he was pissed.
Yeah, he looks a little tired. So.
So I have to go on a rant real quick. I almost forgot about the 7 o'clock start time, which I guess is the freaking norm in the NHL now, because I'm looking down the
it's ridiculous
games. Everything starts at 7. So I'm coming from Tarpon. It takes me an hour just to get here, basically.
Right.
And then I get here just in time for the game, and we're still have this huge line of people waiting to get in. So me and Stash, we got there at the same time. We just go grab a beer and just watch it on the Jumbotron outside, because if not, we're going to be standing in line for the whole first period.
I'm going to give you guys a little hint.
Yeah. No, we got it.
Right around the corner.
Yeah, other side of the team store. Yep.
No line.
Yeah, other side of the team store. We got the chip from Choice.
No, other side of the building.
Oh yeah. You're right. No, you're right. They did open that up.
That says Chase, which actually is going to be changing to Publix, because Publix is becoming a sponsor of the Tampa Bay Lightning.
What? Instead of Chase?
It's going to be called the Publix entrance over there.
That's been the Chase entrance for like 15 years, dude.
No. The Chase entrance is not the Chase Club. The Chase entrance has only been around about 4 years. I was there when they did that.
Okay.
They're going to change it to Publix because too many people are confusing the Chase entrance and the Chase Club.
Oh, well,
they're also going to name like the Lexus.
Are we going to get pub subs at Amalie? We better get pub subs at Amalie.
They're going to be changing a lot of different things. There's going to be Lexus is going to be the 5th floor above Chase Club. Then downstairs is like
the whole price of a bottle of Tito for one thing.
By the way, on the 21st, all the players are getting their rings.
Yep.
And a private ceremony.
So there'll probably be some sort of ceremony before the game on Saturday, wouldn't you think?
I don't think so. I think they are ceremony
no
now.
Video, like no, I mean like a video at least.
Yeah,
like,
they'll play the video before they come out.
A special video package. I would think so. That the AV team would put together, little. This is the ring, right? Little hype reel.
Yeah, Lightning Vision. Well, yeah, because they're gonna try. Most people got that email today saying you can.
Yeah, you can buy one, and then you get
for
so 88,
12,000.
only 88 available.
It's for 12,000. So if anybody wants to donate $11,900, I'll be forever grateful.
So yeah, we'll see how with these rings, how they last year.
I'm gonna hit the road, guys.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
As you pointed out, Shooter, I also have an hour drive home. And,
well, it's not an hour at this time of night, but it is it is at 6 o'clock. You know, we're trying to get out here. So yeah, Saturday night. We'll figure out a location Saturday night if anyone wants to meet up before the game. Maybe we'll meet up afterwards here where we're standing right now. Actually,
we'll post it.
And then Tuesday after the Pittsburgh game, that's in Pittsburgh, we'll be in our homes and we'll be back for another show. Maybe we'll find a guest.
I will not be here on next Tuesday. I will not be here for next Tuesday's show.
You're out next Tuesday, so
I will be in Vegas.
So
I will be in Vegas.
Good reason
at
to
our
tune
good
in.
friend. Yeah, well, I'll be at a wedding too. If it would just be, I would still do it live from Vegas. It's just I'm actually going to be attending a wedding on Tuesday in Vegas.
You can do it during that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Monty probably would be okay with it. I'm pretty sure that his wife or soon-to-be wife Alex would not be okay with it. Pretty sure she would, do violent things.
Don't do it then. Don't do it. So yeah, we'll be back. But until then, it has been not the most ideal Tuesday night, but
we're still 500.
78 games to go, still something like that. So
that's right. 79.
Cool. All right. Well, until next Tuesday night, this has been We the Thunder. Don't forget to be the Thunder.
Be the Thunder.